My question for each of you here today is this: are you preparing for what you are praying for? You see, at the beginning of each new year, we always hear people say, man, this is going to be my year. We often hear persons say, this is going to be my year of increase. This is going to be my year of breakthroughs. This is going to be my year of abundance. We often hear persons start listing off these dreams, these goals, and these aspirations of which they would like to accomplish during a given year. And whilst it is nice and good to declare all these positive things over ourselves, my question for each of you is this: do you have the capacity to carry the weight of what you are praying for? Ooh, I'm gonna ask that question again. Do you have the capacity to carry the weight of what you're praying for? Do you have the strength, the fortitude, the character, the roots to steward well the thing which you are praying about? Are you preparing for what you are praying for? But would you look at that? It's officially 2025. The year 2024 is done and is over, and we have officially turned the page into a new chapter of life. And you see, for some of us, this brings us joy to know that we were able to see the start of a new season and a new chapter. However, for others, this time of year brings feelings of sadness and anxiousness, because while this time of year symbolizes the start of a new chapter, it also means the close of another. And truth be told, saying goodbye to a previous season of your life is not always easy. Maybe for some of you, you started off the year 2024 with persons who were once with us but are no longer here. For some of you, you may have started off 2024 with great ideas in mind and great plans, but the year may not have gone the way you expected. And now maybe you may have some low expectations as to what God can do in this new year. Maybe for others of you on the opposite side of the spectrum, 2024 was an amazing year, and probably you felt as if 2024 was so good that you could hardly believe it. That maybe now you may start to think that maybe your best years are now behind you and it can never get better. But I believe that God is saying to somebody today that whilst it may feel so difficult to let go of a previous season and a previous chapter in life, I believe God is saying to somebody today that it's time to prepare for what's ahead. So there's this well-known story in the Bible about a young shepherd boy whose name is David. Now, David in his early years was a simple, humble shepherd boy, and he was the youngest of 7 brothers. And as many of us may know, one day a prophet came to his house named Samuel and informed him that he was chosen by God to be the next king over Israel. Now, much to David and his family's surprise, the prophet took his oil and anointed David, who was the youngest, to be the next king. You see, one could technically say that David was about to enter a new season of life. You see, one could technically say that David was about to be promoted to the next level, from shepherd boy to king. One could technically say that from the outside looking in, David was about to close one season of his life and enter into a new one, where he will have the blessing of ruling and reigning the country. However, it's critical that each of us understand that the same moment that the prophet anointed David to be the next king, that was not the same exact moment that he actually became king. You see, too often in life, we expect that the same moment we receive the word, the same moment that we receive the promise or the word of assurance, that it will probably be the same moment that it comes to fruition. But this is not always the case. You see, Oftentimes in life, there must be a process before there is the promise. I'm going to say that again. Oftentimes in life, there is a process before the promise comes to fruition. So in the story of David, it is said that it took approximately between 15 years and 20 years before he was actually appointed to the throne over Israel. Now you see, for some of you, you may be wondering to yourselves, well, why did it take so long for David to be appointed to be the next king? Well, here are two important reasons. Reason number one, the king who was currently reigning at the time, King Saul, was still alive. But not only that, reason number two, God had to prepare David's heart and character for kingship. You see, David was new to the concept and the responsibility of being king. Thus, God had to prepare him for the new responsibility. You see, this is important for us to understand because the role of kingship was not going to be easy. Here's the interesting thing about a blessing. Whilst there's a blessing available for all of us, it doesn't mean that the blessing is going to be easy to carry. This is why the preparation process is so important. You have heard it said before, to whom much is given, much is required. For some of us in our own lives, we may be praying to God, well, God bless me in a new way this year. Some of us, we may be praying for God to do a new thing in our life. But the question is, are you preparing for what you are praying for? You see, the same way that God had to take David through a preparation process before he was able to receive the blessing and the responsibility of being king, so too must we go through a preparation process in our lives. Oftentimes as individuals, we covet the blessing and the promise, but not the preparation process. The reason why preparation is so important is because it helps us to develop the discipline, the character, and the capacity to steward well the thing which we are praying for. You see, a blessing given prematurely, of which we do not yet have the capacity of carrying, is actually not a blessing at all. Imagine for a moment building a house on a foundation that doesn't have the capacity to uphold or to carry the weight of the house. What will happen? The house will come crashing down. Imagine for a moment a tree that hasn't yet developed a strong enough foundation in its root system. What will happen again? It wouldn't be able to stand firm. Or imagine driving a car across a bridge that doesn't have the strength to support the vehicle's weight. Guess what would happen? Surely, without a doubt, both the car and the bridge will come crashing down. Likewise in life, a blessing that is given prematurely, for which we do not yet possess the character or the strength to carry, would only lead to our demise. You see, sometimes in life we pray to God, God bless me with more. Sometimes we pray, God, please give me that relationship. Please give me that business. Please bless me with that opportunity. And you see, whilst there is absolutely nothing wrong with asking for more, we have to sometimes pause and ask ourselves the question if we are really ready for the thing which we are asking God to give us. You see, for some of us, you may be praying, well, God, bless me with a spouse. For some of us, we may be praying, well, God, bless me with a child. For others of you may be praying, well, God, bless me with a family, or bless me with increased finances, or bless me with a higher paying job. Others of you, you may be praying, well, God, bless me with an opportunity to go to a particular college, or to have an increase in clients coming into your entrepreneurial business, or to have a wider audience being impacted by your ministry. And you see, whilst there's absolutely nothing wrong with praying for those things, we have to ask ourselves the question, are we preparing for what we are praying for? You see, one of the things I've come to realize about life is that God will never bless you with what He cannot trust you with. I'm going to say that again. God will never bless you with something that He cannot trust you with.